Hey guys, what's up? Chris here. I didn't even plan on making a video of this. I just happened to be doing it, and while I'm doing it, I was like, you know what? This is probably good to make a video of, because anybody that's using a Bambu printer, they limit you to the hot ends. Like on other brands, the hot ends are interchangeable. Like you can get different nozzles like this, and the nozzles like these have the three-way split. You know, that goes 3 into 1, if you can see that. It goes from 3 small holes, and they're copper internal with black steel out external. So these, you can get these on Amazon. I haven't tested them yet, so I'll make a second part for this, and I'll add to it. But this, you know, if you guys seen any of my videos, I pretty much modify everything I buy. But I'm gonna put, I bought a set of them because for the 2 printers. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put the rubber boot on this one, and then I'm going to do the other one. I'll show you how they come. Well, this one actually was, they were a little different. I ordered one because this came with 4 different nozzles on Amazon, 2, 4, 6, and 8, and these brass nozzles, as well as the two black steel nozzles in here. So it came with an extra one for each one. No, these are the tiny little grub screws. So it came with an extra black steel nozzle for each hot end. They don't come with the fans, but they come with everything but, and they do have the holes for the fans in the same place. So I already did the thermal grease. They do come with the thermistor and the heating element as well. So I already did the thermal grease on this one. This is basically how this one came. This piece had to be put in, and there's actually a copper liner on the top of it, and then you tighten these 2 little set screws right here, and then there's actually 2 screws on the bottom of this one too. If you see just past the boot, there's 2 little tiny 1.5 millimeter screws in there that center it. Let me just pop that off and I'll show you. So there's 2 little tiny screws on the sides of the hot end where the nozzle is, and those screws are what sets this centered, and then you tighten up the grub screws. This one is just one piece. It doesn't seem to come out, I don't think. It does have 2 grub screws, so it just doesn't have the 2 screws on the bottom, which seems like not as good of a design, honestly. And it actually seems like I need to straighten it a little bit. It's a 1.5 millimeter, pretty standard, you know, 1.5 or 2. Yeah, it is. So it's those 2 grub screws are the only thing holding this one. I like that other design better. Because you got 2 screws holding it in from the bottom, as well as the 2 grub screws. It just is more secure. I mean, I don't know if it's going to actually make a difference. It's not like this is getting some crazy tension on it. I mean, these are getting very light. Stuff coming out of them, they're very light themselves. It's all very light with this, compared to like using a CNC machine or anything with metal. But anyways, this is a better design overall than the OEM one. But as far as compared to the other one, I would go with the one that has the screws on the bottom and the grub screws. It just seems more stable to me. But then again, like I said, it might not make a difference. I'm going to test it out, and I'll let you guys know. I'm going to add another clip to this video. So just like any other hot end, you just put the thermal paste, put the thermistor, any other Bambu hot end, you put the thermistor and put the heating element, and then you put one of those square clips around it, wherever I put. There we go. Okay. Let me put that on that side. Shoot, did I do this on the wrong side? No, I didn't. That's the indent for this. There we go. There we go. It's sitting right where it's supposed to sit. Alright, and then put on the little rubber boot, and that's it. It's very simple. Just put the thermistor in, put your heating element in, put the little rubber boot on it, and then if you have an extra fan, hook up the fan. And if you don't, then just hook up the fan from your old one when you take it off and switch it. If you guys are interested, I will, by the end of this video, tell you if they work well or not, because I'm gonna put them both on, one on each printer, and because I want to test them both, and I'll see if one of them works better than the other. Obviously, I'll get another one of that one and not use the one that doesn't work well. But they both have the same tip. You know, you can interchange the tips. So that's the only thing that's different about them is the design with the screws on the bottom that sets it in place, and then the set screws on the side that actually hold it up. But they're actually, in that design, they're both holding it up. And this one seems to have like a little bit more of a lip that holds the wires in place better. So, anyways, it's small, minuscule stuff, but it's not the whole design. The whole design is I think it's a big deal to be able to change the nozzles, because you can just take the boot off. Even if you get a clog, you can take off the boot and then undo this, and that's it. There's a little wrench in here. One came with each one, and there's another set of boots. They each came with extra boots, and then you can just take this nozzle right out if you have a clog, or even if you don't have a clog and you want to use a different size, whatever, you can just unscrew it, and there you go. And you can change the nozzle right there. And this one does have a three-way split on it, or does it? I don't see it in this one. Let's see. I'm gonna grab my little tiny light. This thing comes in so handy working on small stuff like these and the air guns and drones when I need to see in a tight spot. No, that's a straight one hole. Why is that? I thought I ordered all the ones that split up. So you see, that's why I like to get into things, because I see what I'm actually getting. Oh yeah, see, I got one that's a straight hole and one that's a triple hole. So one of the two that I ordered had two of the triple hole, and one had just a straight hole with an interchangeable nozzle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that other straight hole into this one, that other triple hole rather, into this one, and hope that it threads. Yes, it does. So I'm going to use those two that have the three holes that go into one, because I'm interested to see, but it is good to have the single holes too, because I think abrasive materials might have a hard time with this triple hole setup. But as far as regular PLA, or I'm not sure, PETG might have I'm not really sure, I gotta try it. But I guess we'll see. The carbon fiber filaments more than the PETG and stuff like that, I was thinking, and the glass fiber especially, even though they're black steel, it's not gonna be enough, I don't think, for those. I think those are gonna still have a problem with splitting into the three little sections. But I could be wrong. I'm not positive. I'm theorizing. But anyways, I figured I would throw on the camera because I thought this was a pretty cool improvement for Bambu printers, and I know a lot of people have them because they're pretty damn popular, and there's a good reason why. They work phenomenal. I did get the QIDI printer working like it's supposed to, but it's just simply not as good. It's just really that simple. I mean, I can't really put more to it than that. I mean, people want to criticize me for telling the truth. Go for it, but that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm telling my own experience, and that's the experience I unfortunately had. So I wish I had better things to say about that company, but unfortunately, that's just the way it went. So I do have another fan. I have another full hot end, or a couple that have the whole assembly, so I'm going to put the fan on as well, so I can just switch the whole thing out. And this is, I believe, a 2mm. Those screws on the actual hot end were 1.5mm. seems to be good so far. Let's try to throw it in to the other printer while this one's still going. So I got this thing so that I could position the camera a little bit better. So hopefully this will help. Let's put the camera in a better position so you guys can see what I'm doing. Alright, turn this on. Turn the light. Alright, so as you guys can see, I just soldered together some light strip. I need to get some better adhesive or put a clamp on it or something right there because it keeps coming down. But anyways, just wired it into a transformer from an HVAC system and put a switch on it. Yeah, see that? See, it's just it's a plain old transformer off an old condenser or whatever I took it off of, so whatever I had laying around. So take the door off, then you just have those two 2mm screws. And the thing I really like about these is that everything's in the front, so you can do this pretty easily. You know, if you have another setup ready, that's why it's worth getting another. I think the one that comes with it does not come with a fan. Oh wow, I just noticed you guys are seeing that blinking. I don't see that here. That's weird. Anyways, I like that they have everything right in the front like this. On the other one, it's in the back. So it's kind of I mean, everything seems to be in the back on that printer, honestly. But at least they made this part convenient on this printer. The rest of the hot end is not convenient, that's for certain. The way that it has to, that's one thing that QID they did better, is the hot end. I like the design better because it has a circular ceramic heater that's around the whole end. It's around the whole end of the hot end instead of just like flat on one side like this, which is a way better design in my opinion. I think that one heats up so fast. That's another thing that has on the Bamboo also, is that the design and the rate of increase on the temperature. I mean, when push comes to shove, what counts is how it prints, and it does not print as well. It does print pretty good now that I got it going, but it's just not. It's not comparable. It's just not comparable at all. But it does have its benefits. Like I said, there's some things that they actually did better, like the design of the hot end and the rate of increase is, I think, because of the design of the hot end. So the fact that the entire tip is surrounded by a circular ceramic would make sense for it to heat up quicker. So I'm pretty confident that that's why that does. So obviously everything plugs in right, but plugging in right and working right are two different things. So really the test is going to be when I actually print with it. Alright, let's put that in there. These are going to have to go. Well, I can put those in there. This wire for the fan, I had to splice that obviously. So there's some shrink wrap on it that makes it a little fatter than it's supposed to be to go in this clip. I probably should have just put them right to the end with those small electrical fittings, but I didn't have any handy. Those are something I actually do have from a couple of FPVs that I built. I got into the FPVs for a minute, but it's too frustrating. It's not that much. It is a lot of fun, don't get me wrong. It's a lot of fun compared to like the DJIs. I like the DJI drones too, but and when you don't want to have to focus so much on the actual flying and be able to focus on the view, it's better to be flying a DJI. But if you want the challenge, and it's something that's difficult and challenging to do, because flying an FPV is definitely challenging. I lost a couple learning how to fly it. But then again, I also lost the DJI or two. They were legit flyaways, so I got them replaced, but it still wasn't much fun. There we go. So yeah, it's going in pretty smooth right now. Seems to be. I'm eager to see how. I do have a couple of little things that I need to print. They're just like paracord clips for. I made a target retrieval system for my shooting range. So I'm going to print a couple of clips for the end of the paracord to just tie it up, because I don't want to cut it and then have to have some slack for something, and I don't want to cut it too short, and I don't want to leave it hanging down into my line of sight either. So that was the alternative. All right, here we go. See, now with this, even if you get a clog, you probably aren't likely to have to take this whole thing off. You can just take the nozzle off. You don't have to take that whole hot end off like that, like I just did. Even if you have another one ready, I mean, you're not going to have another one ready. You're going to be able to just take the these wires. That heat shrink is the right size. It's just, it's very tight in there. There we go. That's perfect. All right. Oh wait, what's that saying? Nozzle temperature is abnormal. The heater may have an open. Well, yeah, it had an open circuit because I just had it off. Okay, let's see if I can clear that. Can you guys see that? Yeah. Oh, well, the reflection kind of sucks. Let's see. That's probably better. The lights in my ceiling are pretty bright too, though. All right. Well, anyways, I'm gonna try to print something on here, and I'm gonna take the fan off of the one I just took out of there, and I think I do have one more fan, but I have it in my hand already. So what's the difference? I'm gonna put this fan on there and put this one in that printer now that it's done, and I'm gonna get that stuff out of there, and then I'll see how this works. And I will make another short clip after I've printed something, so you guys can actually see how it comes out. Okay? All right, thanks guys. Hey guys, Chris here. Just wanted to show you guys, so I'm very impressed. This is how well it's printed. Take a look at that. I don't know if you guys can see. I'm looking at the view. It looks like you should be able to see it. I'm seeing it. I mean, it's going in the depths. It's perfect. It's really, I didn't think it was going to print much better. I had to calibrate it. So if you do put these in, it actually, both of the two printers actually gave me temperature error when I first turned them on. I think the stuff that comes with it is just really shit. The heating element and the thermistor, those parts suck. But the nozzles and the design of the whole hot end, the fact that the nozzle can come off, is a big difference. It's a game changer in my opinion. So I thought it was worth doing. But use original Bambu stuff for the heating element and the thermistor. If you know, in my opinion, that's the best way to do it. That's what I ended up doing. I had a couple extra sets that I had gotten because Bambu is really reasonable on their parts. If their hot ends were able to have the nozzle changed, and you could put those three-way split nozzles in it, I would have never bought these. So they should probably come up with a design like that, which at this point, what do you do with all the people that already bought their printers? You know, I mean, I would suck it up and buy it for 35 bucks, 40 bucks. It's really not a crazy expense. But they'd probably end up having to give away a bunch of them, which is probably why they haven't done it. But anyways, it's definitely worth doing, but use their original ceramic heater and, you know, the heating element, the ceramic part, and the thermistor from Bambu for sure, because the ones that came with these, I got an error on both of them, and I've changed these, you know, quite a few times already. I don't think I did anything wrong. I mean, it's very simple, and if I can do low voltage on a furnace and boiler, I'm pretty sure I could handle that. It's two wires, you know. I mean, it's two plugs anyway, 4 wires, but they're very easy to change, and when you get it working with the triple I didn't try the single nozzle, the single entrance nozzle, because there's no point. It's the same. It's the same thing. The only difference then would be that you could change the nozzle, which is a big difference. That's a big help too, because if it gets clogged, you don't have to take the whole damn hot end out. You could just take the nozzle out and, you know, push it through. I actually got a tool to push the stuff through, which, funny enough, the handle is 3D printed, and they're sending these out for 3D printers, but it's not the handle that's the main part. It's this is a long, very narrow, but also very strong while being narrow. It's not narrow enough to, sorry. It's not narrow enough to go through the tip. You still need those little tiny needle things for that, but it is the same diameter of the filament, so you can push the filament through. Once it heats up, you can push it all the way through. So that's an essential thing to have. But for being able to take the nozzle off and push that stuff through, or push it through the nozzle if you can, but if you need to take it off, you can. And this is coming out perfect. This thing is printing very well. So after I put those in, I set it to calibrate. Just do a regular calibration on the menu. It's right here, right there. Utilities, calibrate. See, it's already there because it's the last thing I did. So just do a calibration and then send it a print. And this is the stupid build plate message because this is an aftermarket build plate. But anyways, they seem to work great. This one's working fantastic. And that's the one. Is it the one that was 2 parts? I don't recall. But anyways, this one's working great. I have no reason to think the other one won't. I haven't printed anything on that yet, but I will shortly. But this one is working really well. I'm surprised how well it's working. But the ceramic thing and the thermistor, they charge an extra couple dollars, which I think they did on this one. But the only reason I actually did it was because I wanted to get the extra boots and the extra sizes in the nozzles and the extra black steel nozzles, which only did me any good on one of the two. But anyways, at least I can thread the other one into that, and I can get some more steel triple nozzles, which I'll probably still use those single hole steel nozzles when I do some abrasive stuff. But anyways, if anybody's thinking about doing this, if anybody wanted to get some aftermarket hot ends that you can change the nozzles, it's definitely a good idea. And like I said, just use the original Bambu ceramic and thermistor. That's it. All right. Here's the print so far.
It's almost done. It's a very small print. It's just these 2 clips for paracord. But the way it was filling that in was just as good, if not better, than the original Bambu. I mean, I haven't even gotten it in my hand yet, obviously. But from what I can tell, the way it's printing right now, I mean, good work for yourself.
All right, guys, signing off. See you later.